This is Keith, and this is my second bi-weekly paycheck of January. I have 2 bi-weekly paychecks in January, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to take care of some transactions. We have 6 transactions to clear up from the last few days. We're going to go ahead and talk about the overspending of the 2 categories at the top of the screen. We're going to spend out that $838.19. Oh my gosh. I thought this paycheck would be higher, but I miscalculated. This one's actually lower. That's sales for you. And I'm in the apartment industry, and January is probably one of our slower months. So we just got to work with what we have and roll with the punches. And then at the end, I'm going to do a transfer for a purchase of a laptop that we had to buy. So we'll take that out of savings. I'll show you how that works at the end. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. At the bottom of the screen, I'm going to go ahead and click on accounts. And you can see we have checking, savings, Visa card, all that right there. And I have 6 transactions I need to approve that I saved just for you guys. So let's go ahead and approve the deposit from my work. Let's approve the cable bill, and you can see that it's remembering the categories from last time. American Tall, my shirt was out of stock, so they gave me a refund. Lowe's, we bought some baby proofing, but we bought too much, so we returned some things there. The money's going straight back into those categories. And home improvement, let's see, stupid eBay sale fee. Stupid eBay charged me all these fees. I sold something on eBay and I got a fee. So that's where I buy my lentils, and I buy my rice because it's really cheap and it's really good there. All right, so now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and run through the numbers like we always do. The first thing I'm going to do today, I'm going to switch the order of things. I'm going to hold down the edit button here. I'm going to hold down the category heading here for nutrition. And you can see I got food, and then variable, and then fixed, can't touch. And I want to switch those two. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to hold down my needs variable, and I'm going to put that right below my needs fixed. So needs fixed, again, are like my insurance and all my adulting type things that I cannot miss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch that order, and I'm going to put the money in the categories just in the order that you see on the screen here, with food being at the top, and then the fixed, and then the variable, and then the wants. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to have enough money to put money in all these categories, so that's why I'm shifting the order around. So if you remember from last week, what I always do is I always take care of these 2, the mortgage and the condo dues, 1 month in advance. So because our next paycheck's after the 1st of February, and that's when those come out automatically, I'm going to go to February. And we have not funded the mortgage at all, so we're going to just go ahead and fund the whole thing, $231.18. I know that's a small mortgage, but we have a very small place. I made a big down payment. Condo dues. So what I could do is I could do the plus sign, and I could add in the number to get to the 225, but I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to do 225, and that will write over that number just like that. Okay, so now for February, the mortgage and the condo dues are both paid for. Whew. We're going to go back to January, and oh my goodness, January's looking slim. We got $488 left to spend, so let's get to it. I'm going to go to grocery. And remember I said last week to always press the plus button. I put in 110 last week. I'm going to add 110 to that. And there it goes. And now we, because of the Spice World transaction, we got $98 left. I'm going to go to the groceries for the next week. So Friday I get paid, and that goes through Thursday for the green apple. And then the next Friday, it's not a payday, but it's a food payday for us. And that's when the red apple starts. That one also runs Friday to Thursday. And that takes us right back up to the next payday. I do plus sign, 110, and here we go. All right, we're at $268. Let's do our supplements, $12 a check right there. And you notice it's turning green. That's because it satisfied the monthly goal that I set up for ourselves. All right, we can skip the mortgage and the condo because they've already been paid for January. We're going to go to insurance. I actually overdrafted that, so to speak, by $19. That's because I paid out my condo insurance, which is a bit of a buffer. But now that we're in the second week, it's going to be just fine. So we're going to add the 129 right there. That's called floating it. It's not a good habit, but we did it here, I guess, by accident. $69 for taxes and car registration. $22 for the water bill. That will be starting soon. We used to get water for free. Now we have to pay for it. Long story. And I typed it in wrong. I typed 22. I need to do plus 22. So it gets up to 44. Subscriptions, there we go. Plus 21. Because all this is divided out to 2 paychecks a month. That's how I get to my numbers. I don't know, maybe I did that wrong. Plus 21, trying to get, there we go, to 42. Looks like my goal is not correct. That's why that's not turning green. We'll fix that later. All right, so power's paid for, cellular's paid for, and internet is already paid for. There's a penny left over. All right, I got $15 left. Like I said, January stinks. Sometimes being in sales stinks too. I got $15. I got household, auto maintenance, gas, clothing, etc., etc. And I've overdrafted on home improvement. That's because of our baby proofing that we did this last week. So we got all those, and we have all the wants down here. You know, like Dave Ramsey talks about, there's a certain line you have to draw, and after that point, you just don't get those things. So what we're going to do is let's just add it to household, because that's the top one on the list, and we go through a lot of household items. And that's going to put us at $28.97 for household. And you see down here for home improvement, I overspent last time, so we have a shortage there. So what I'm going to do, again, I talked to my wife already, we're going to go ahead and click on the shortage, which if I click on the budget down at the bottom, it goes up to overspend. I overspent the home improvement furniture category. I'm going to click on that, and I can choose a category that has enough money to cover that entirely. So I'm going to go down to household, and I'm going to cover it out of there, and you can see it adjusts, and now I have $2 left in household. Great job. You've knocked out all your overspending categories. So guys, this is the real world, and this is what it's like when you're in sales sometimes. And here we go. So we've already discussed this, that we just don't have any money to put in the rest of the categories. Maybe next month we can hit our goal and get larger paychecks. But for now, this is all we have. We do have plenty of gas in our cars because we're not driving a whole lot. So we do have enough gas to get us to and from work. And if we run out of money in the gas, well, guess what? We're going to take it out of one of these other variable need categories here. So that's how that budget worked. Now, we did have, of course, a little bit of an emergency. So let me go down to the bottom here. Down here in our savings account, we have a $10,000 emergency goal. And that's what it is. Our goal is to get $10,000. And my wife's 10-year-old laptop is no longer working. And my laptop is 6 years old. It's barely working. So we made the difficult decision to buy a new laptop. And it's $750 that we paid for, and then actually my wife's parents offered to help her with the rest as an early birthday present. So how are we going to do this in You Need to Budget? So what we're going to do first is I need to transfer the money out of the savings account to a spending category. And we don't have a spending category for electronics, but we're going to say we want some electronics. So we're going to hit edit at the top. And we're going to hit the plus under wants, electronics, and we're thinking software too, so apps, electronics and apps, and hit save. And we're just going to scroll that down. So we don't have any money to put away monthly to this. If we did, we probably wouldn't have had to take it out of savings, D, E, F. So we're going to put it there. Oh, and let me do an emoticon too. So let's do rename. And I can go to the front of this, and here I can do my emojicon. And let's see here, we got the laptop already selected there. Hit save and done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer the money from the savings account to the checking account in the app. And then after the video, I'll switch it myself. So I'm going to do, is it move money? Yeah. We're going to move money, and I'm going to switch this with the arrows right there. So I'm going to move it from the emergency fund to the category down here called electronics and apps. The amount is $725, and hit enter. And it's going to move the money in the app out of savings, boo-hoo, to that category. I'm going to hit the checkbox because we're done. And now you can see there's $725 in there. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to pay back Dad, and we are doing that through a check. So we're going to go ahead and add that transaction right now. So at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to do my plus transaction to show you how we would write a check. And the check is for $725. So what we did was he offered to order it, and And then we're paying him back the $725 via a check. And we're going to create a payee called Dad. The location indicator comes up. That would be like if I'm at a gas station, it could automatically remember next time I'm at that gas station to use that category. But I'm not going to do that for him, so we'll change that. The category down here is electronics. Here it is, $725 is what we have in there. It's going to come from our checking account. And then the memo is optional. That's the laptop. And it will clear it will sync up with the bank account, and it will clear automatically when the check is deposited. And you can see up here it's red. That means the money's coming out. If I wanted it to be coming in for some reason, like a deposit, I would flip that switch right there to green. And that's how that works. We're going to save that transaction. And boom, you can see the money just came out of the electronics app. And so now we have paid him back. One thing I almost forgot. That is, and you need a budget. Your actual checking and your savings accounts are not tied to the envelopes directly. So let me explain what's going on here. If you look down here, we represent the savings account in these two different envelopes that add up to $4,261.32. You can see that we moved the money from the $10,000 emergency goal envelope to the electronics envelope. And you notice again, $4,261. Now if I go down to accounts, that number did not change on my savings account. So if you look at the savings account, the $725 is not there. If you look at the checking account, you see that the money was spent because we moved the money around the envelopes. But again, nothing changed on the checking or savings side in the app, nor did it change in the bank. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the money. The $725 I have to move on the accounts tab from the savings to the checking. And then everything will balance out. And then after that, off the video, I'll transfer the money from my savings to my checking. So let's go ahead and do that. What I do is I look at the category the money's coming from. So I'm going to click on savings. Okay, I click on savings. And now that I'm in savings, I'm going to add a transaction here. All right, what are we paying? Again, we're transferring $725 from the savings account. And you notice at the bottom, about halfway through the screen, the savings account is already selected. It's already selected there, right? So the $725 is going to come from there. And I'm going to transfer it to my checking account right there. $725 from the savings account to the checking account. I don't need a category. Just trust me on that. We don't do a category when we transfer between checking and savings, but I can put in a note. Where's my little guy go? I like the emoticons. We'll just put a picture of a laptop there, okay? All right, we hit save. And you can see now, again, we're back at the savings account. We subtracted the $725. You can see at the top left, the working balance is $4,261. That's exactly what we were looking for. So now the money is in the app has moved from the savings account to the checking account. You see the numbers have changed. Now all I got to do at again after the video is I go back to my bank account and I switch it from savings to checking. It'll all sync up when it's done. Again, my name is Keith, and thank you so much for budgeting with me today. If you have any questions, just drop those in the comment section down below. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.